Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world without smartphones. Without cars honking. Without the constant buzz of notifications and digital noise. A world where the pace of life was measured not in milliseconds, but in the gentle clip-clop of horse hooves on cobblestone streets. This is 1900. The turn of the century. A world caught between the old and the new, where gas lamps still illuminate streets at dusk, where children play freely in roads without fear of traffic, where a trip across town is an event, not a daily commute. Welcome to a time when life moved at the speed of conversation, when neighbors knew each other's names, when the rhythm of daily existence was dictated by the sun, the seasons, and the church bells marking the hours. Today, we're taking a journey back through these remarkable photographs, windows into a world that existed 125 years ago. A world so different from ours, yet somehow, hauntingly familiar. Join me as we walk these streets, meet these people, and discover what life was truly like when the world moved slower. Chapter 1, Morning in the City. Dawn breaks over New York City, 1900. But listen, there's no alarm clock jarring you awake. No smartphone buzzing on your nightstand. Instead, you wake to the sound of the milkman's cart rattling down the street, the distant whistle of a steam train, and church bells announcing the start of a new day. This photograph captures the milkman making his rounds on Fifth Avenue. Notice the glass bottles, the patient horse, the leisurely pace. Milk is delivered fresh every morning, still warm from the dairy farms on the city's outskirts. The milkman knows every family on his route. He knows who prefers cream, who has a new baby, who's fallen on hard times and might need a little extra without being asked to pay. Here we see the street sweepers, often called white wings, because of their white uniforms. They're out before dawn, manually sweeping the horse manure and debris from the streets. It's back-breaking work, but it's honest work. These men take pride in keeping their assigned blocks clean. In 1900, there are over 100,000 horses in New York City alone, producing roughly 2.5 million pounds of manure every single day. The streets must be cleaned. As the sun rises higher, workers emerge. This remarkable photograph shows factory workers walking to the textile mills in Massachusetts. Notice something, they're walking. Most working-class families don't own any form of transportation. They live within walking distance of their workplace, not by choice, but by necessity. A factory shift starts at 7 a.m. sharp, and these people have been walking for 30 minutes already. The street vendors are setting up their stalls. This image shows a fruit seller arranging apples and pears on a wooden cart. Everything is sold loose, no plastic packaging, no barcodes, no refrigeration. You buy what you need for today's meals. There are no supermarkets, no bulk buying, no weekly shopping trips. You purchase food daily because without refrigeration, it won't keep. And look here, children in the streets already. These aren't delinquents or truants. Many children in 1900 don't attend school at all, especially in working-class neighborhoods. Child labor is common and legal. These boys might be heading to work in factories, mines, or as newspaper vendors. Education is a privilege, not yet a right. Contrast this with this photograph. A businessman in a fine suit, top hat, and walking stick. He's heading to his office, but he's in no rush. He might stop at his gentleman's club for breakfast, read the morning newspaper cover to cover, discuss the news with colleagues. His workday doesn't start until 9 or 10 a.m. Class distinctions in 1900 are stark and visible in every aspect of daily life. Chapter 2, The Streets Themselves. Let's talk about the streets themselves. If you were transported back to 1900, the first thing you'd notice is the surface beneath your feet. Cobblestones. These rounded stones, fitted together by hand, cover most major city streets. They're durable, but they're also loud. The constant clatter of iron horseshoes and wooden wagon wheels on stone creates a soundtrack we've completely forgotten. Cities in 1900 are loud, just in different ways than today. But venture off the main thoroughfares, and you'll find this: unpaved roads. Dirt that turns to mud when it rains, dust that chokes the air when it's dry. Most residential streets aren't paved at all. In summer, water wagons spray the streets to keep the dust down. In winter, horses struggle through mud and snow. This photograph shows something revolutionary: electric trolley tracks. The streetcar is transforming urban life in 1900. For just 5 cents, you can travel miles across the city. These trolleys are packed. Look at the people standing on the running boards, hanging off the sides. There's no air conditioning, limited seating, and in summer, the heat inside is unbearable. But it's still faster than walking. Notice the lampposts in this image. These are gas lamps, still the primary form of street lighting. Every evening, lamplighters walk their routes, using long poles to open valves and ignite the gas. It's a respected profession, almost romantic. But gas light is dim compared to what we're used to. After dark, streets are shadowy, mysterious, sometimes dangerous. Here's a fascinating photograph of a busy intersection. Look carefully. Do you see any traffic signals? Any stop signs? They don't exist yet. Traffic is managed by policemen standing on platforms in the middle of the street, using hand signals and whistles. It's chaos by our standards, but somehow it works. People are more patient, more willing to wait, more accustomed to negotiating shared space. And those poles, look at them. They're covered in wires. Telephone lines, telegraph lines, early electrical wires, all strung overhead in a tangled mess. Some cities have started moving utilities underground, but in 1900, this is what infrastructure looks like: visible, messy, chaotic, and still being figured out. This dramatic photograph captures a horse-drawn fire engine racing through the streets. Fire is one of the greatest fears of the era. With most buildings made of wood, heated by coal or gas, lit by open flames, and no modern sprinkler systems, fires spread quickly. When the fire alarm sounds, these horses, trained to respond to bells, spring into action. But by the time they arrive, entire blocks might already be engulfed. Chapter 3: The People and Their Pace. But the streets aren't just infrastructure. They're stages for human life. And in 1900, that life unfolds at a fundamentally different tempo. Look at this photograph. Two men are standing on a corner, deep in conversation. They're not checking watches. Not glancing at phones. Not rushing off to the next appointment. They're simply talking. In 1900, conversation is the primary form of entertainment and information exchange. People stop to chat because there's no other way to stay connected. Children own the streets in 1900. This remarkable photograph shows kids playing stickball in the middle of a Manhattan street. There's no fear of traffic, because there isn't much traffic. A horse and wagon might pass once every few minutes. Children play hopscotch, marbles, jump rope, tag, all in the street. The street is their playground, their social club, their entire world. Here's an elderly woman sitting on her front stoop, watching the world go by. This is entertainment in 1900. There's no television, no radio, no streaming services. You watch life happen in real time, right in front of you. You know who's courting whom, which families are struggling, who's wearing new clothes. The street is reality television before the concept existed. Street performers are everywhere. This photograph shows an organ grinder with his monkey, a common sight in 1900. These men walk miles each day, playing music for pennies. It's a hard living, but it's a living. Entertainment is rare enough that people genuinely appreciate these performers. Children follow them down the street. Adults toss coins from windows. Notice the clothing in these photographs. Every person is fully dressed, regardless of the temperature. Women wear floor-length dresses with multiple layers, corsets, petticoats, high collars. Men wear three-piece suits, hats, and collars so stiff they're called chokers. Getting dressed in 1900 takes time, sometimes an hour or more. But that's acceptable because life isn't rushed. You have time to dress properly. This poignant image shows an immigrant family, likely recently arrived from Europe, standing on a New York street. They carry everything they own. The father looks determined but uncertain. The mother clutches a child. They're at the beginning of their American story, standing on these streets, moving slowly because they don't yet know where they're going. Contrast this with this photograph, a wealthy couple being helped into a carriage by their servant. Class divisions are stark and visible. The wealthy move slowly because they can afford to. They're never in a hurry because they pay others to hurry for them. The servant, meanwhile, must anticipate their every need, moving quickly while appearing calm and unhurried. The local policeman walks his beat. In 1900, police officers patrol on foot, getting to know every shopkeeper, every regular, every troublemaker in their territory. This officer in the photograph probably knows every person he passes by name. Crime prevention is based on presence and relationships, not rapid response times. Chapter 4: Commerce and Daily Life. Shopping in 1900 is a fundamentally different experience. Let me show you what I mean. This photograph captures the interior of a general store. Notice, nothing is pre-packaged. Flour comes in barrels, measured out by the scoop. Sugar is weighed on scales. Pickles sit in large jars. The shopkeeper knows every customer, keeps track of credit in a ledger, and can tell you the story behind every product in the store. Here's an outdoor market on a Saturday morning. It's packed with people, but nobody's rushing. Why? Because shopping is social. You don't just buy vegetables, you discuss recipes with the farmer who grew them. You don't just purchase fabric, you tell the merchant what you're sewing and receive advice. Shopping takes hours because it's about relationships, not just transactions. This butcher shop photograph is particularly telling. The butcher stands behind his counter, wearing a clean apron, surrounded by hanging meat. There's no refrigeration, so meat must be sold and consumed quickly. You can't stock up. You visit the butcher every few days. He knows your family's preferences, your budget, and will often save special cuts for his favorite customers. Speaking of refrigeration, here's how it works in 1900. This is an ice wagon. Large blocks of ice, cut from frozen lakes in winter and stored in sawdust-filled warehouses, are delivered to homes. The icebox is a wooden cabinet with a compartment for ice on top. Cold air sinks, keeping the compartment below cool. You need ice delivery twice a week. When you forget to put out your ice card, your food spoils. This pharmacy photograph is fascinating. The druggist is mixing a prescription by hand. There are no chain pharmacies, no pre-manufactured pills, no insurance claims. The druggist is part chemist, part doctor, part counselor. People trust him with their health problems, and he compounds individual remedies for each patient. Banking in 1900 looks like this: ornate interiors, brass fixtures, and most importantly, human interaction. You can't check your balance online or withdraw cash from an ATM. You must visit the bank during limited hours, speak with a teller who knows you, and conduct every transaction face-to-face. Most working-class people don't use banks at all, they cash their paychecks and pay for everything in coin and bills. Extra. Extra. Read all about it. This iconic image shows a newspaper boy hawking his papers. News spread slowly in 1900. An event happening across the country might not be known locally for days. These boys shout headlines to attract customers. Papers cost a penny or two. Reading the newspaper is how you learn about the world beyond your street. Chapter 5, Leisure and Social Life. When work is done, what do people do for fun in this slower-paced world? This Sunday afternoon photograph shows families in Central Park. Sunday is the day of rest, taken seriously by most Americans. After church, families promenade, that's the actual term, walking slowly through parks, seeing and being seen. It's a social ritual. The well-to-do show off their finest clothes. Young people size up potential marriage partners. Old friends reconnect. For working-class men, the saloon is the center of social life. This photograph shows the interior of a neighborhood bar. Men gather after work to drink beer, discuss politics, share news, and escape crowded tenement apartments. It's not just about alcohol, it's about community. The saloon often serves as an informal employment agency, social club, and political headquarters all in one. Entertainment is live in 1900. This photograph shows a vaudeville theater. For a few cents, you can watch a variety show, singers, dancers, comedians, jugglers, trained animals. Shows run continuously, and you can stay as long as you want. It's loud, rowdy, democratic entertainment. The wealthy attend the opera and symphony, everyone else has vaudeville. The bicycle craze of the 1890s continues into 1900. This photograph shows a group of cyclists posing with their bikes. Bicycles represent freedom and modernity. Especially for women, whose heavy Victorian dresses are gradually being modified to allow for cycling. These cyclists might ride for hours, exploring countryside that would take days to reach on foot. Here's a lovely photograph of a family picnic. Notice the effort involved, food prepared from scratch, packed in baskets, transported by wagon or trolley to a park or countryside spot. A simple picnic represents hours of preparation. But there's no hurry. The family will spend the entire day eating, playing games, napping in the shade, talking. Time isn't money, time is life itself. Church is still central to social life. This photograph shows a congregation gathered after Sunday service. Church isn't just about religion, it's where you meet potential spouses, make business connections, exchange news, and find help in times of trouble. In many communities, your reputation is largely determined by your church participation. This charming image captures a street party for children. Someone's brought out chairs, someone else has lemonade, and the entire neighborhood is celebrating. What? It might be a holiday, or someone's birthday, or just a hot summer day. In 1900, entertainment is homemade and communal. You don't need elaborate planning or expensive venues. You just need neighbors who know each other. Chapter 6, The Sunset Hours. As evening approaches, the pace of life slows even further. The lamplighter makes his rounds. This atmospheric photograph captures the moment when day transitions to night. One by one, the gas lamps flicker to life. It's a gradual process, not the instant illumination we're used to. Darkness encroaches slowly, and people respond by moving indoors. This is how most Americans spend their evenings in 1900, sitting on the porch. This photograph shows 3 generations of a family on their front porch as the sun sets. They're talking, rocking in chairs, watching neighbors pass by. There's no TV competing for their attention. No smartphones isolating them in digital worlds. Just family, conversation, and the slow cooling of a summer evening. Inside, if you can afford it, you might have electric lights, but probably not. Most homes still use oil lamps or gas lighting. This photograph shows a kitchen lit by oil lamps. The light is warm but dim. Reading is difficult. Detailed work is impossible. So people go to bed earlier, in sync with natural rhythms of day and night. Bedtime comes early for children. This tender photograph shows a mother reading to her children by lamplight. The book might be the family's only book, read over and over until everyone has memorized it. There are no tablets, no TV shows, no YouTube videos. Just a mother's voice, a shared story, and the comfort of routine. As most people sleep, the night watchman makes his rounds. This solitary photograph shows a watchman with his lantern. Cities in 1900 are dark at night, truly dark, in ways we can barely imagine. The watchman's job is to look for fires, check that shops are locked, and provide a sense of security. He's a reminder that even at night, the community watches over itself. This haunting image shows a city street at night, nearly deserted. By 10 p.m., most people are in bed. There's no nightlife as we know it. Number 24-hour stores. No late-night restaurants. The city sleeps because without electric light, darkness means danger and inefficiency. Life follows the sun because it must.
Closing sequence. When life was slower. That's what we've seen today, a world where time moved at a human pace. Where the speed of life was determined by walking, by conversation, by the turning of seasons, not by the ping of notifications. Look at these faces one more time. What do you see? There's no distraction in their eyes, no divided attention. When these people look at the camera, they're fully present. When they talk to each other, they're engaged. When they work, they're focused. When they rest, they truly rest. We've gained so much since 1900. Medical advances, technological marvels, instant communication, unprecedented convenience. We live longer, travel farther, and know more about the world than these people could have dreamed. But we've also lost something. We've lost the ability to be bored, and with it, the space for creativity. We've lost inefficiency, and with it, spontaneous human connection. We've lost slowness, and with it, the deep satisfaction of doing things thoroughly rather than quickly.
These photographs don't just show us how people lived 125 years ago. They ask us questions about how we live today. Do we need to move this fast? Do we need to be this connected? Do we need to fill every moment with stimulation? Perhaps the most valuable lesson from these streets of 1900 is simply this: life doesn't have to be lived at our current pace. We've chosen this speed, and we can choose differently. Sometimes, the most revolutionary thing we can do is slow down. Take a walk without a destination. Have a conversation without checking the time. Sit on the porch and watch the world go by. The streets of 1900 are gone, but their lessons remain. Life was slower then. And maybe, just maybe, it was also richer in the ways that truly matter.